Pucker up, Buttercup. Ohio Chernobyl engulfs East Palestine as residents report health problems. Nearly 2 weeks after a Norfolk Southern Railway freight train with 150 cars, 20 of which were carrying hazardous materials, derailed in the small town of East Palestine, Ohio, resulting in a chemical disaster. The extent of the damage to the town and surrounding communities remains unclear. It ain't good. On Tuesday, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine held a press conference for the February 3rd derailment. He said Norfolk Southern did not classify the train as a high hazardous material train, despite multiple cars containing toxic chemical vinyl chloride. There's already an effort by lawmakers on Capitol Hill and federal agencies to investigate the derailment. Investigators have uncovered security camera footage 20 miles before East Palestine of the suspected rail car that caused the derailment. Footage shows one of the cars on fire well before it was reached the small town of Ohio. Are they going to blame it on those white supremacists attacking all the power stations? I'm just wondering the agendas that are going to come out of all of this, James. We're in the eye of it right now. As investigators pinpoint the likely cause of the derailment, the environmental impact of the controlled burn of 20 rail cars that contain toxic chemicals, including vinyl chloride, ethyl hexyl acrylate, and isobutylene, has released what some described as a chemical nuclear bomb that has contaminated the town and surrounding communities. Following the burn, there have been numerous reports of wildlife dying, fish, frogs in nearby streams. People have reported their chickens, dogs, horses were either sick or dead. People in East Palestine and surrounding communities have reported various symptoms that they can't explain since the burn. People exposed to vinyl chloride might have an increased risk of developing a rare form of liver cancer, brain and lung cancers, lymphoma, and leukemia. And these toxic chemicals have also been identified in the Ohio River, which supplies at least 5 million people with drinking water. It's not just what was in the tanker cars, it's what happens when they burn and combine. This may be the largest dioxin plume in world history. I know of no more serious release ever, explained Eric F. Coppolino of Planet Waves FM. Maps, literally now, from West Virginia to New Mexico. Recall, the Biden administration and other federal officials didn't say anything for a week. Finally, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg finally spoke about the incident, and on February 8th press conference, a News Nation reporter covering DeWine was arrested, trying to just report on the news. There has, maybe not surprisingly, been a massive lack of transparency since the derailment happened by the Gov and their mainstream media. As for Norfolk Southern, they're expected to rack up tens of millions in costs associated with cleanup and lawsuits. And you never guess who's one of the largest shareholders of Norfolk Southern. It's ESG pusher and the place Neil Young sold his music catalog to. That's right, BlackRock. Yeah, Greta's real quiet so far as well. By the way, East Palestine scrapped a town hall for tonight because everybody's sick and they can't go do it. Now, rather than include links to everything I covered on my morning show this morning, I'll link to the February 15th Morning Monarchy, Ohio Chernobyl coverage. The first half of the, of course, not safe for work episode covers in a little greater detail things I've only just briefly brushed up against there, like get the hell out of there, Ohio's apocalyptic chemical disaster, the video of the reporter they arrest at the press conference, and what is basically said. We basically nuked a town with chemicals so we could get a railroad open. James, not an engineer. I guess they couldn't move the cars, I guess. They blew it up like they blew up that beached whale way back in the day on the Oregon coast. Couple of interesting notes. Again, they burnt this thing. How about this one? Biden signs bill preventing nationwide railroad strike December 2nd, 2022, forcing them to get back to work in unsafe conditions that I believe they were protesting against. Oh, and the EPA says Ohio toxic train derailment air quality is safe. And we wonder again, is this incompetence or is it just plain evil? And for fans of the synchromistic, deadly Ohio train derailment eerily predicted on Netflix movie White Noise last year. Where's all that unsolicited health advice that was so prevalent these last 3 years while people were drinking vinyl chloride coffee these past couple of weeks? This is on the news here in the States, James, but it feels like it's only on there because of the outcry. Why are you covering this? My mom said I'm the only one that's asked anything about this to her, but that's sadly not really much anything new.